Hi, I'm Clark Mayer, and this is Feed B, the making of Feed A. When I set out to make Feed A, I knew that I wanted to kind of take the found footage style and mesh it with the creature feature.
I love the found footage aspect of Feed A. Like, that is my thing. Like, I love how it looks. I love the sound. The sound was amazing in this film. It's energy. It keeps going, you know what I mean?
It uses the ENG style camera, the documentary style camera, which is something I was doing very often. And it kind of merges that with a cinematic narrative story.
To throw yourself into SWAT team and aliens, guns, blood. Fuck!
Organs and intestines.
Fuck!
SWAT teams.
They're shooting.
Creatures, slime blood.
There's blood everywhere.
Mouth blood.
SWAT trucks.
We used every single blood you have.
There's creatures coming at them. They're being attacked.
Oh, eye drop blood right here.
Interdimensional portals.
There's blood everywhere. It was awesome. Creatures in a house with guns. It was a challenge.
I think the hardest part about making Feed A was maintaining its authenticity. The SWAT team specifically was very hard to recreate. You're asking actors who are professionals but are not professional SWAT team members to move about a house as if they were actually SWAT team members. And so I brought in Morris County SWAT team members and kind of had them help me map out the blocking to the film and where the SWAT team would go in this situation and how they would react to different circumstances.
So as we're going through the script and tightening it up, we're really trying to pay attention to, okay, well, where would they feasibly be by the time this line gets out? Or what would they be doing that would give that line emphasis? We had to do as much mental blocking and kind of walking through and figuring out what we were going to do before the actors got there, because we were going to do it that night, and that's what we did. When you're working with a pace that fast and that exciting, with so much movement and so much choreography, really, it's definitely important to have a rock solid version of the script that everybody's happy with, so that everyone knows when to say what and how to say it and what to be doing when they're saying it.
That was fun that the camera never stopped. From the moment we got there, it was like, all right, here we go here. It was never like, do this, do this, do that, guys. It was like, here's the run through. He saw it in his head, so the whole, and whatever we did, whatever movements we did in the space was based upon like him being like, yeah, like that works. But it was never like, do this, do this, do this. It was sort of like, we just went through it, and everyone kind of found their way, which I thought was interesting. And it was so quick.
You know, when you work with Clark, you kind of know that he thinks about this nonstop all the time. You know, I would go home and go to bed, and you knew that Clark was not sleeping. He was still thinking about Feed A. That kind of transcended to the rest of the crew and everyone working on the film.
I think what I love most about Feed A is its pacing. Feed A gets going and it doesn't stop. Its pacing is relentless. I wrote the film to kind of build up its speed as it progressed and then kind of end with a bang. And I think it does that very well.
For this concept of the creature, we didn't want to use full prosthetics and we didn't want to use airbrush on his body. We wanted something that was more organic, moved really tightly with his skin, because some suits, there's creases in latex and silicone that they don't move quite organically. So I thought wetsuit, because you know, someone in a tight wetsuit, it really shows their body off, especially if we're using an actor who's 7 foot tall and is, you know, he's got musculature. He got in it and it just moved to his body so fluently. It was organic, and that's what you want in a creature. You don't want something going like, oh my God, look, that guy, he's in a giant fake suit. You want something going like, damn, how'd they do that, you know? And it's all about the performance of the actor in a suit. That's the most important thing in a suit, like someone who wears it right. And they get into character. You're selling an illusion. This is all illusion. We're doing make-believe, and you're selling an effect. You're selling an illusion to the audience. And if they don't believe it, they're gonna walk out or they're gonna lose interest in 30 seconds. Having an actor, a good actor, in a suit brings a character to life, not only for everyone else acting with them, but for the camera and the audience. But having him in the suit, we're all seeing him there, he's getting into character, and people have something to react to. In CG, you don't have that. You have a little, you know, you have green screen, and you have usually a tennis ball, and here's your eye line, follow it. And I think having him on set and you hearing him run around and he's grabbing at you, you're gonna see a better reaction than someone going, ah, tennis ball, or ah, green screen. If there's a marriage between CGI and practical, that's perfect. That's what I love, if there's a marriage and it's a good marriage.
The decision to go practical really made the film, I think, because it doesn't look over polished or fake. It's a mix, it's a blend of CGI in the right spots. I mean, props to Jen and Sean for nailing the portal. It looks amazing.
Well, the design aspect, I feel like whenever you design anything, you go, you kind of don't even think about budget, you know, and it's always important to kind of design first to what you want and what you think is amazing and fantastic and everything you want in life, and then find out what the budget is and then kind of work around that. So, you know, I didn't even really think about the budget too much. I just was working on visual research and drawing and talking to Clark and getting ideas, and then, you know, when we found out what we were working with, trying to figure out, you know, how we can make that happen, these ideas and these drawings with the money we have, and you know, we did that really well.
So I wanted to build kind of a life to the whole house itself. I wanted it not just to be like, you know, a house, but like there was actually something more going on there. The house itself had a pulse. So I wanted to create that, so I kind of made this whole underbelly tone that this kind of sustained throughout the entire film. Like you could hear it kind of build up once they first enter the garage, and then from that point, it's just like, it's always there. And I kind of use the basement as, you know, a point of reference for the sound. So I literally panned that sound like constantly throughout the entire piece. I wanted to purposely overmodulate everything, because when I picture this creature being there in this room screaming on top of his lungs, I just imagine the mics in the camera just like rattling to the point where they're gonna shatter and like it's not gonna take anymore. There was probably 90 separate audio tracks, all like bunched up into gunshots, creature sounds, footsteps, blood splats, door slams, scrapes on the walls. Everything had its own group.
Sneaking up on these motherfuckers looking for honeycombs.
What was that?
Like any script that's written or any story idea, it's always, can we put Jalen in this? Because the guy is just so money. I mean, the first time we saw him on our first film, he came in for one line. And then he walked out of that audition and turned into the co-lead and, you know, 8 pages of dialogue. That's just how good he is. Bringing him back was like not really a question. It was, will he do it? You know, Mike's weird because he's been my friend for a long time, and we've always talked about scripts, and, you know, we've all been creative together for a really long time. And when I hooked up, you know, when Killer Goose Films started, he was always someone I wanted to bring into the fold. And I know he always wanted to act, but there's never been an opportunity for him to act. So when I put him in Dead for Life, that was like acting school for him. I mean, you can see a progression from like day 1 to day 3. So, you know, when Clark got this film going, I mean, Parati was, I believe he was a first choice. Like, he was always in mind for Bullis.
The toughest part of the role would be that, you know, this body doesn't fit so good in that type of uniform. What was nice is that vest thing is almost corset-like, so I think I looked a little more svelte than I really am. So I would say the hardest part of the role was doing that. I did not wear underwear, though, because I figured if I was really a SWAT guy, I wouldn't wear underwear. I could see Clark had a vision, that he mapped it out in his head, and he knew exactly how he wanted the whole thing to roll, beginning to end.
I walked in on Clark. He was in a dark room and he was watching it, and I was just like, what's the project you're looking at? And what he had was a rough cut of Fide with no color, no audio, no nothing. I sat down and I watched it, and I was just blown away. I thought fundamentally the pacing and the camera movement, I thought everything about it was there. It just needed special effects, it needed color grading, and it needed audio. But inherently the actors were there, the story was there, and the camera work was there. So that's why I jumped on board. I thought this is an opportunity to get on board of a project that's amazing.
This guy Clark, what a fucking guy. Holy shit.
Having communication through the entire process is a big deal. When you have the director come over to you to your own studio and spend time, sit through the makeup, that's huge. Most directors would never do that.
This dude is not kidding. Like, he's a scary dude.
He's very cool, and he has a lot of awesome t-shirts.
That was such a great experience, working with all those people. It felt like you were in a serious production. Like, everyone there knew their task. Everyone had something they were gonna do. They all know their strengths. They know when they need to overlap and help each other. They know how to keep continuity. They know how to tell someone, hey, or even when Aaron running around like 10 minutes. Listen, you can't rush art, Aaron. He's like, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Because it costs money. Okay, so fucking rush it.
You know, I'm not surprised it turned out so great, because everyone who was there those days of filming and and design and figuring out, what we wanted to do.
Sorry. Back up a minute.
Whatever.
Fuck that. It's Clark.
Nice, Clark.
Go figure.
Fucking asshole.
Asshole.
Being an executive producer means that when Dale needs money, I give it to him. That's pimping, right? I'm the master pimp, right? Because I hold the fucking cash. So if I got the cash, I'm really holding down the pimp house, right? Well, no, I guess the guy that collects the cash is the pimp. So I'm actually not the pimp. What the fuck? I'm the one getting raped.
Pimping, as a filmmaker, you're basically a prostitute. You have to do whatever you can to get where you need to go. So you will sacrifice ideals and your own personal morals and everything you believe in to get this shit done. So you will sacrifice everything, and that's what prostitutes do, man. You think they want to do this shit? They get fucked by strangers. That's what filmmakers get. They get fucked by strangers constantly. And then you get up and leave, and hopefully at the end of the day, someone gives you some fucking money for it. But that's it. You know what I mean? Filmmakers and prostitutes are all after the same goal, man. We're trying to get paid. I'm gonna hook up with you. We're gonna work together for a small amount of time, and before you leave, fucking leave some money on the dresser. Please.
It's hard out there for a pimp, but it's equally hard out there for a filmmaker. I would say even more so, because, at the end of the day, what is pimping really but accounting and enforcing? And what's filmmaking? That's scheduling, that's catering, that's locations, that's forms, that's insurance, SAG regulations, permits. There's a lot involved. Casting, writing, script supervision, audio production. There's a lot more to it than pimping.
We all work really hard, and we are good at it. It's not easy. Pimping. Yeah.
We had a good time. I challenged myself as a director. I wanted to do big action sequences, and I wanted to tell a sci-fi story, and I think we did that effectively, and I hope people enjoy the film. It probably doesn't make as much money as pimping, though. And Fide probably won't make as much money as pimping. But like I said, it's more fun.
So fuck pimps. Filmmakers. Bitch.